live.
It's live. It's great. It's alive. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 126 of Mirrorless Minutes. I'm your dorky host, Jamie, and I've got secondary dorky host, Mike, over here. So we're fresh back from a sore foot weekend in Pennsylvania.
What's it, about a 15-mile weekend?
Correct.
That's what we added it up to be.
What about a mile and a half of it was for non-existent food?
Yeah, that's true too. I shouldn't say that. I think most of the people that were smart, the rest of the participants didn't go on that mile and a half with us looking for a food that belonged in a football stadium that wasn't open.
Yep. So a little bit of backstory here. We have to at least elaborate a little bit. At the end of the day, Mike and I got everyone back to the hotel safe and sound and probably slightly weary after so much walking. And I told Mike, I have to get this sandwich that everybody keeps talking about. When you're in Pittsburgh, you need to get Primanti's, whatever. World famous sandwich. And I'm like, let's do this. So Mike pulls up his phone, the closest Primanti's, and we're off following the phone. Trust in technology, everybody. Well, it leads us about mile from the hotel to the stadium, where there's a Primanti's inside the stadium at about 10 o'clock at night, where they were closed the night before a game. So
and we had a security guy, or remember the security guard says, "Oh yeah, they're open. Just go around to the other side."
Like, I'm sure they're open. Just go on in. They're always open. Primanti's is open 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Not this location. So anyways, I did end up getting the sandwich, which is great. Went in there with Joe, one of the workshop attendees, and he knew exactly what to order. So I just kind of followed his lead a little bit. But and if you follow us online, you may have seen a shockingly disturbing video of me taking a bite of the sandwich. It was fun to do the sandwich.
Yeah, we'll talk about how that was shot in a little bit.
We sure will. The hint is in right about here on.
Yeah, right about here. Oh, I'm not feeling that good.
Right.
It's my Iron Man.
Right. So we'll give a little insight into the workshop. It was long as far as the footwork goes, but then that's kind of the MO with Mike and I both. Even when Mike's doing his workshops in New York City, or if we're together, or if I'm doing them in the Upper Peninsula, word of warning, if you're going to sign up for one of our workshops, bring comfortable shoes and bring the ability to walk, because the shots don't happen from the car window, not too often anyway. So we put a lot of walking in. And I think one of the highlights for me was we did this. It was like a tech session. We had one of the attendees was there, really specifically wanted to get a lot of technical help with the Olympus cameras, and just hadn't been getting it in the past. So during our lunch break, after grabbing Primanti's at one that was open, we went back to the hotel lobby, kind of set up a round table session. Hey, Bob just checked in. How you doing, Bob? Yeah. Bob was there at the workshop. He was one of our far travelers from Wisconsin. So we sat around into this round table, and it was really fun. I love being able to sit there. I'm not a tech nerd per se, as far as like knowing the intricate specs of everything, but the techniques and how to use the technology in the camera, I love talking about it. So it was fun to sit there with the group and start answering questions. The big topic always seems to be live composite, and a lot of misconceptions about it, how to set it up quick and easy so you can be effective. And it was
high
fun.
Res. We talked a lot about high res
mode, bracketing high res mode shot, the benefits of using those things. So that was definitely a highlight for me. And then, getting to see an incredible city. For those who have never been to Pittsburgh, I would say go. It's an impressive city.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was so impressive to the Banning side of things that I'm back in. Already made hotel reservations at the same place.
It's amazing.
On October 4th to take my wife on there. So we're celebrating 38 years a couple days before. So she said, "Hey, we got to go to Pittsburgh." I haven't been there in 30 years. This place has changed.
Oh, it's incredible.
So beautiful city. I mean, I'd say anybody that can get there, bring your camera. It's going to be worth it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The architecture is amazing there. And then somebody who kind of gave us some insider information, who actually showed up and kind of walked along with us for a lot of the workshop, resident there in Pennsylvania, Frank Candrala. He showed up and he was impressed with, like, I think our last shoot in the morning. He's, I've been here dozens of times. I've actually done workshops here and taken people for workshops. I've never shot from this bridge, but But he told me that morning, he's, that it's either number 1 or number 2 in the world for the volume. The most bridges in a city. And I'll be darned if he has to be right. You turn and look down the river because the bulk of the city is basically an island.
Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah.
And there are so many bridges as far as you can see. So it's a very cool location.
Yeah, it was excellent. It was excellent. And, and I'd say if you're in Pittsburgh and we're for some reason not there, I don't know how much we'll be there, I'd say look up Frank.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great resource, and he does do a couple things here and there. Like you said, workshop-wise, he shoots a lot of events, and Frank loves video. I mean, you were geeking out on the video with him. I was like lost because I am not a video guy. I'll self-admitted I'm not.
Right.
I'm trying to eat lunch with these two guys that are talking way above my pay grade.
Well, I'd be willing to say that, if you're interested in video, reach out to us, and video in particular with Olympus cameras. Because Frank seems to be a wealth of knowledge. And I was like, yeah, let's talk tech. Let's talk about video. And then the talk started getting up here, and I'm like, okay, you know way more about it than I do. So it was really cool to have him along. A good friend to have there. So it was great.
Yeah, definitely.
So we were going to do like this big image share, and we've really only got like one gung-ho participant that submitted images. I know everybody's busy. A lot of people travel, and you got to get back into the real world. And admittedly, I processed a few images really the night I got home. I think I have like 4 images that I have 9 images from the whole weekend that I could share. I have 4 up here tonight, I think, to share. But we definitely want to share Bob. He's in the chat room, Remishevsky.
Yeah, definitely. I've got him on the thing here.
Yeah, do you want to do an image share?
Let me get on. Okay, can you see that?
I just got to add you to the stream. There you go.
Okay, all right. So let me look at what that looks like. Okay, now I see it because I got the picture right in front of my face. All right, so this is one of the overlooks that we went to and spent some time up. And as you can see, I don't know. Can you see my cursor when it's on there too? Okay, great. So you can see, I just wanted to point out bridges, bridge, right? Bridge over here, and probably another one I think down here this way.
Yes.
And just fountain wasn't. I don't think it was running here, but it definitely runs a lot. Let's put it that way. That thing runs a lot, and obviously the city, the way it juts out, and really just a great city. Bob captured this, a beautiful. This was in the morning, if I'm not mistaken, right, Jamie?
Yeah, that was the morning. That was the first morning.
So this is before the sun started coming up. And let's see, I'm looking at Bob's things that he sent me, because he did send me all the specs of the image, the
good
information. So we shot this on his Em1 Mark II. He said hit this down at ISO 64 with a 12 to 100 lens.
Nice.
At f11 for 30 seconds.
Sweet. Yeah. You can see the movement in the clouds. Nice.
Yeah. And then one quick note he made about this one too. It's processed in Luminar.
Nice.
So that's nice, because I know we've talked a lot about Luminar on the show, and I'm sure we'll continue to talk about it. But this is a nice job, and I love the reflections down in here too that come across there. Let's see, this next one then was from the rooftop, right on our Saturday evening when we were trying to do some live composite,
right?
And the night was a Friday night when the full moon came up. This is Saturday night, and we're just out there shooting. We didn't think we were going to get it because, as you can see, we've got a lot of cloud cover. But all of a sudden, it started to open up, and this is obviously where the Pirates play. We were just down the street. In fact, this is Residence Inn. We were Springfield, or the Suites, right, just behind it.
Just behind there. Yeah, we were right across from it.
Right across from it. But Bob captured this, I think, really cool. Just the lights are on at night, and then getting the moon in there too.
In the background nails it. I love that.
Yeah. So he again, Em1 Mark II with the 12 to 100. I would say if we went across the whole perspective of everybody using a lens, what was the most used lens on the workshop? I'd go with the 12 to 100. I think
it would
win. Yeah. And so this one again, ISO 64 f11 for 15 seconds.
Nice.
So real nice. The colors of that park were great.
And I want to mention that, so I know that this is probably pretty darn near straight out of Bob's camera. That's just, that stadium is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And, the lighting was just, it was great. It was super cool location to have set up for, like, the rooftop location that we used. It was super cool to be able to shoot from there. I loved that. So
easy to get to, and it wasn't locked like a lot of them that we sometimes run into.
Right.
But we were talking about that stadium. Remember, as we were walking over, we said, how cool would it be without the people in it to shoot inside?
Yeah.
Because the inside glow of like the purple or blue lights that they had on were great.
Yeah. No,
you get a different angle of that city.
Yeah. Very cool location.
Yeah. So it's a great job, Bob. And I know we'll see more, because we're like what we do with the workshops. We'll have a processing section for everybody. Right. In a week or two, and talk about how everybody will pick 5 or 6 pictures, and we'll discuss them as a group.
Yep.
So still looking forward to that.
Before we jump into any more images, I want to, if you've been following the show, you know that we're using different software, obviously, to do the show. Yeah. And we just kind of want to test something out with you guys. So Mike put together,
we could segue into it.
Yeah. Let me just share real quick the few images that I have to share, and then we can do the segue, because I don't want to break that.
Okay,
it'll be really good to just segue straight into it. So I'll just be really quick with this. So these are just a couple of the images that I shot walking between groups of people. We started off downhill. So I'm obviously looking uphill here. So I was heading uphill from an observation lookout. On the other side of the hill is the Duquesne Incline, which will be in the next shot that I shoot. And it's pretty iconic Pittsburgh landmark, these inclines are. So anyways, I was down at the incline, leaving Frank Candrala behind to go catch up with the rest of the group to see how everybody else was doing. So this is 2 of the workshop attendees up here, Margot and Vivian, and they were posted up at the top of the hill. I don't think that they ever made it to the incline at that morning. It was kind of a rainy, drizzly morning, but I was really struck by these fences. Okay, so you're in Steel City, so I guess it makes sense that there are an abundance of just heavy steel components to the city. I mean, these fence, I'm sure each one of these fence sections probably weighs 200 pounds or something. They're just massive, and they're so beautiful because they were all patinaed and rusted. So I wanted to get the attendees doing their thing, and I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, that's Margot on the right with her tripod set up low, maybe taking a shot through these ornate fences. And I just thought it was really fun to watch those guys for a minute and just get a shot of them in action.
I keep forgetting I can talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Talk away.
Because we used to have to be quiet when each of us shared because of
we didn't want it to steal the screen.
This is cool. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So this is what I was talking about. That was on the other side of the hill from those guys, and this was not that same morning. That morning was rainy. This next morning was gorgeous. Or was this morning? This was actually afternoon. This was later in the day, actually.
Yeah.
When we went back to the incline. Yep. So this is the Duquesne Incline. There are actually a couple of these inclines. I think the technical term, I can't even talk. The technical term is funicular. That's basically what it looks like. It looks like this little train car that sits on this funky angle and goes down the side of the hill. It gets people from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill without having to endure traffic in Pittsburgh, which I didn't really think was bad. But I'm sure they had a much better purpose like 100 years ago or 90 years ago or whatever, but they're just such a cool feature to the Pittsburgh landscape. So we had to shoot those, and we had a lot of fun getting up there. The next shot is something that I'd spoken with a couple of people when we were up on a parking garage. They're like, I don't know what to do up here. And I said, well, what I'm doing is I'm just focusing on segments of the skyline, because, there are a lot of things going on, and skylines can be kind of intimidating. You're not really sure, where to focus or what to focus on. So there's a photographer out of Chicago, Angie McGonigal. You know her? Okay, so I idolize her architectural work. I'm so not an architectural photographer, but I remember her doing a series, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was something like patchworks of skylines or quilts, city, something along the lines of that. But she just took sections of this overwhelming scene and focused on those. And I did that, pulled back a little bit so you could actually see the top of the tower. I think that's at PPG Plaza, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of the buildings there, just gorgeous architecture. And in the foreground, this cone-shaped element, there we go, is my cursor, is actually like an art installation on top of the PPG Science Museum, if I'm not mistaken. So all of these shots. So Em1 Mark II, 12 to 100. Next one down, Em1 Mark II, 12 to 100. Next one down, Em1 Mark II. Or I'm sorry, Em1 X. I'm sorry, Em1 X for all these, 12 to 100. This one, Em1 X, 12 to 100, channeling my inner street shooter that doesn't really exist. I felt really compelled to photograph this guy. He looks like an actor whose name is totally slipping my mind right now. I'll probably remember.
He looks like Harrison Ford from The Fugitive when he had all the beard.
Right. But I felt compelled to photograph him. I generally don't photograph homeless people unless there's something powerful in the image. This gentleman was looking at his reflection in the window, and then he would step over to the right and then dip back over and look at the reflection again. And then he would step over to the side and then dip back in again and look real close. And then he was like tilting his head. And it was like, it was kind of powerful to watch. I'm sure obviously struggling with mental illness, but actually really, really handsome guy, you know, and I just felt compelled to photograph that scene. I don't know why it spoke to me, but it just did. The last shot from Pittsburgh was the last night there after walking miles and miles and miles with the group. And I know a lot of people were they were feeling it. So we chose a parking garage as a nice last stop to give us a completely different vantage point and just kind of, you know, played around with a little bit of live composite. This was actually a hard shot to get because, well, I'm not 7 foot tall and the walls on the top floor of the parking garage are pretty high. So I was actually reaching up over with the Em1 X over the edge of the parking garage.
I saw you doing that.
And then I pull back so that's up against the wall, but I had the articulating display flipped up so I could see my composition and shoot it that way. And this is, I'm sorry, this isn't a live composite though for this shot, but this was just a long exposure. And I think it was 4 seconds handheld, pressed up against a building over the top of my head with the 7 to 14. I mean, come on, holding it like this over a wall, standing on my tippy toes. That tells you how good the image stabilization is in these cameras. And then the last one was something I know another photographer that I follow experienced recently on a return from a photography trip that they were on. They had a hard time getting their head back into Michigan. And I almost felt that way for the first time coming back. You know, I didn't know what to do. I was so surrounded with a city environment and my head was just kind of wrapped around trying to look at these hard lines and geometry and architecture that I really had trouble or wondering if I was going to be able to do it. So I just drove around the other night and just found myself on a back road. And I loved that the soybean fields around here are starting to turn. They're getting yellow, but there's still a lot of green in them. And we were just getting a great sunset. And funny for me, I had my ISO set at 3200 from one of the last shots I took in Pennsylvania at night and didn't realize it. So this is ISO 3200 at sunset with the 7 to 14 on the Em1 X. And it actually turned out really darn clean. I was like kind of blown away at how clean it turned out. And then all these shots, again, were with the Em1 X, and I can't say enough about how much of a performer that camera is. That camera is just, I had a lot of people ask at the event, you know, that had never seen one or held one. You know, I was handing it around, you know, quite a bit for people to check out. And I think everybody kind of come to the realization that it's a big camera, but it's not really a whole lot bigger than their Em1 Mark II is with a grip. So it was kind of cool to be able to share that. Let's segue, Mike. I'm excited.
We can do that. Can you start the segue?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Shelly. We have workshops all the time. We're probably going to announce a big one next year. That'll be a banger. I'm excited about it because it's a place Mike and I love to shoot. So let's segue. I can't wait. This is going to be a cool one. So I'm going to share the screen.
We're hoping it works. We've got to try it out.
So I'm going to share it and I'm going to hit play. We're going to try and share a video with you guys. So this is a video
it's in the middle,
that Mike put together using what we're going to talk about next. And I don't know if the volume comes through or not. We'll give it a shot. Here we go.
Yep.
And I'm going to take a sip of this stuff because I am parched. Super cool.
There you go.
Cool.
There you go. So yeah, so that was fun. That was 58 30-second videos were shot on the weekend.
Right.
By doing this, tapping a button. So I'm shooting with the new Insta360 GO, and of course made by Insta360, who I do ambassador work for. So I guess I have to say that to let you know that.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm going to tell you, I do as much ambassador work as I want. I bought this thing. I bought it on release day. I wasn't waiting for them to send me one.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you couldn't wait and you bought it on that.
Oh,
Mike showed me for about 5 minutes what it could do, and as soon as we got to the hotel, my laptop was on the bed, and I ordered one immediately.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's a good statement to have. So the Insta360 GO is this tiny camera, and they came up with a great tagline: the 20-gram steady cam.
Hold it up.
And I got to hold it up there a little bit closer. So maybe you can get, I don't know how focused it is, but you know what? I'll do this. I'll turn it on.
It's so small.
So it's recording right now, and I mean, literally, it's the size. I think it's actually smaller than my thumb.
It's the size of like one of those little tiny lighters.
Knuckle. Yes.
A little tiny Bic lighter.
Or like a USB.
Yeah. I've got flash drives probably bigger than that.
Yeah. So this thing fits in here. I got to get myself in front. Almost like a set of AirPods. This is your charging case, okay, that it goes into, and you drop it in there, and that charges it, and it lasts. Heck, it lasted all day long, really, because you got to keep charging it every so often. And then on the back or on the bottom is a lightning connector. If you're running iOS, if you're not running iOS, you're running Android. Inside the package is your hookup for USB-C 3 to go into that. It would just sit along the side or whatever. But what's really cool about it is after you come back and you shoot these videos, it only shoots 15, 30, and 1 minute videos. Seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or 1 minute. It'll shoot stills if you want. The stills are okay. I'm not using it for stills. Yeah,
right? It's video.
Yeah, if you need a still and that's what you have on, that's great. But the thing is, it's the ease of use, and it's what's built into it is the Insta360 stabilization, which is,
my gosh, yeah.
I'm telling you, between Insta360 and Olympus, I don't know if there's two better companies that make stabilization. In fact, I'd hate to see what happens if they got together, what kind of stabilization they might be able to make.
It would look engineers like together. Generated video. It would be too smooth.
But and what's cool is, so you're filming like this, and and if you turn like this, if you had it on your hot shoe or you turned it upside down, everything stays upright,
That's awesome.
on the video. And so what comes with, so that's obviously that and its charger. And then what you saw here is, let's see if I can do it here, is it comes with this necklace to wear it underneath a shirt, which a ton of it was, and I'll pull it out. As you can see, it's just a magnet. It just magnetizes right onto it, which is excellent. It goes into a little, it's got one of these holders. I don't want to put it in, it's hard to grab out, but it magnetizes in here. It's got a 1/4 on the bottom if you wanted to hook it on, a tripod or something. It comes with this little sticky thing, and this is one of these sticky deals. It's not like a GoPro sticky where those things stick and they don't come off.
Right.
This one will stick, and you just wash it off if it gets messy, and it starts to stick again. But that can go on there. We use that in the car. Then it's got another one of these sticky things that just, you can put it on a wall or anything, and it goes on that. And then I got to show them one more.
Right. That's cool too.
This. Yeah, it comes off. This is the fun way, I think, of doing a lot of it, is to drop it right in there. Let's see here. Put on my hat and hit it, and you just push it, and it's going. So I'll throw together a little video from what we did here. but it's great for Instagram stories.
Oh gosh, yes.
It shoots in 9:16, 1:1, so it's got square, and then 16:9, so it comes out like a phone. Vertical orientation phone.
That's awesome.
And you can adjust. What's cool is when you go in, even if you want to go in and let this thing, it does by its own by AI, it goes in there and decides. Jamie and I were trying to come up with what it does because I know we got Jamie in a lot of the things, and it's like it looks for hand gestures from what I could tell, smiles on faces, that type of stuff. It pulls out and it just says, hey, here's the best for a 20-second video. Here's the best parts for a 30-second video. And you know what? It's so darn easy. Literally anything I put on, if you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see it. I think I put out 4 of them, no more than a minute on every one of those to put together. Yeah. I mean, it comes with the music, and you can reframe. That's the other thing I wanted to say. You can push on it, and it actually shoots 180. So it looks out 180. You can actually reframe how you'd like that shot to be.
Yeah, you've got a few degrees of movement.
Yeah,
up and down and side to side. Well, yeah, watching you reframe shots, where somebody was just kind of in the edge of the frame a little bit, and you just went and just kind of shifted it over,
and then we're getting them all. And it's got a nice little cover too.
And then also, so you were showing me it does like hyperlapse video too, which is super cool. If you've never seen hyperlapse, just get on YouTube and just type in hyperlapse and just watch what one of them is. It's basically like
hyperlapse with a blur too, and that's what's so cool about it. Some people do hyperlapse. I think GoPro just does a hyperlapse, but hyperlapse with a blur makes you feel like the motion that you should be seeing at that speed.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and you can shoot that you can walk whatever you do, run, walk, ride, 30 minutes. I got a big bike event Saturday that I'm doing, a 40-mile ride. And I guarantee you this thing will be on me. We'll be seeing some stuff. I'm certain of it.
And Mike,
but you won't be seeing 40 minutes of it.
No, it'll be 20 seconds of 40 minutes or 40 miles. Yeah. So like I said, as soon as I saw Mike get that out and just get out his phone and it compiled a video just like that, of all these little clips from our drive and our trip there. I said, all right, that's it. I just flipped open the laptop.
Yeah, we'll drop a link in there, and I don't have an affiliate code. It doesn't matter to me. Just go out and get the dang thing.
Yeah,
it's not about affiliates and all that. I can't say enough about it. And if you have questions or you figure out some cool stuff, if you get one, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
We know there's more we haven't probably explored with it.
Oh yeah. Getting a different person's perspective on how to use something is always fun. I mean, and like Mike said, if you get one and you figure out how to do some cool stuff, or you make some cool stuff and you want to come on the show and talk about it,
let's do it, man.
Totally, totally about it.
So what's the qualification to do that, Jamie? It's mirrorless.
It's 100% mirrorless. That's what this show is, everybody. We've already what? We already signed contracts. I'm just gonna say it.
We can say it. Why not? What the heck are they gonna do?
Right. We're gonna end the last 2 minutes talking about what we've been alluding to forever and ever. As with any I'm starting to sound all like corporate and freaking legal, but so every company and their marketing strategies has to keep things moving and shifting. So Olympus is changing how they're doing some of the things with their ambassadors, visionaries, and so on. And that's kind of where Mike and I sit right now. So they've shifted and created a brand new segment. We no longer have the title of Olympus Visionary, although we might still be on the website as Visionaries. I better go take a screenshot before it's gone. But now we're moving forward to be deemed as Olympus Official Educators. So we're one of a small group of people who Olympus has figured that what we do with you guys as far as the podcast, the workshops, like the YouTube videos that we put together and things like that, and just our interactions in general. Yeah. People tend to seek us out, I think, more for help than they do for inspiration. That seems to be my take on what I see. I've actually kind of taken some time and gone through and just kind of looked at a lot of the things that I get feedback from people. And a lot of it is questions, and a lot of people want help. And that's what we do. We love to do it. We love to teach. I can't stress enough how important teaching is to me, and I talk about it regularly. Every presentation I give, I go on and on about how I love being in front of a group of people, sharing some information. So I'll admit, at first when Olympus came to us, I thought, oh my God, the ride's over. I'm not a visionary anymore. And then I thought, well, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, I'm always a visionary. I've always been a part of that program. Now I get to do something new. And that again leads to what we do now, talking about more than just Olympus. We get to do that now.
Right.
Granted, if you're on a workshop with us, we'll only be using Olympus equipment during the workshop, but that's why I can tell you back on the shelf back there, I hate how cameras reversed up. Right there is a lens for Sony full frame, and right there, I think, is my Sony full frame camera. So we're able to expand our repertoire of things that we use. So it's better to help people who don't necessarily use Olympus. I mean, I've led, I don't even know how many workshops we've led, but every workshop we've led, there are always people with other systems, and more frequently, I see Sony. Hence, me getting a Sony camera somewhere up there on the shelf behind me. And so it just made more sense to be able to do that. Bob asked, answered Bob. So are they keeping the visionary program too? Yeah, they are. It's probably going to shift. You've probably already seen through Olympus social media, they've got a new thing called the Explorers. Those are the Instagram influencers, the people with like humongous followings or whatever on Instagram, the people that are like travel photographers. So they're adding segments to this, which is cool. And then one of the benefits that we'll see as an educator is that Olympus has soon, they will be corporate terms, could mean 6 months. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's a big ship to move. So nothing happens overnight, but there'll be a segment dedicated right now. I think it's dedicated to workshop partners. I think they're going to
shift that
reconfigure that to educators, and then you'll be able to get more information about the workshops that we're doing there. And, of course, it'll be nice for us to get cross promotion from them, because currently we don't get any promotion on any of the workshops that we're doing from Olympus. So it'll be nice to get that support from them. And also as part of being, I was reading Bob's comment. I'm not calling you a fart, Bob. I'm just saying.
What's Instagram?
What's Instagram, Bob?
You got to put that one on the. You got to put that on the.
Not marketing toward. I should put that on the screen. What's Instagram? So as part of this whole thing, because we're going to be official educators, you can count on the fact that moving forward, when we're doing these workshops, we're going to have loaner equipment from Olympus. We really get to put their feet to the pulse and make sure that that's a reality for you guys, because we do get asked regularly, hey, will you have this? Will you have that? Can I try this? And up until now, Mike and I have always brought our own gear to hand out for people to use. And as part of this program, they're going to make sure that
it'll be
changes.
Nice to have a few of those things.
Yeah,
for sure. I think. But so I'm excited to be part of it. Hey, something new. Let's go after it now.
I'm excited because it opens new. I'm playing with new toys.
I know.
That's why I was shooting with that Fuji. That's why I've got a Sony up there, and I'm probably going to look at like an Icon Z to play with. And the more equipment I have my hands on, the more I can help teach people. And like I said, I love doing that. So I can't discount that fact. We talked for 30 minutes, dude.
Hey, do you want to mention though your workshop in the UP?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, that hot selling workshop. Oh my gosh. We still got space on that workshop. I think I overshot my goals with that by bringing on 2 additional instructors and then opening it up to such a huge amount of people. But if you swing over, we're not full. If you're curious, if you got last minute ability to swing up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which very few people do, but who knows? If you swing over to the Mirrorless Adventures meetup page, that's meetup.com/Mirrorless Adventures. There's still spots on there that you can fill in for. And if I had to put you up in a room, I might let you sleep on the couch in our Airbnb just to get you there. Might save you a little bit of money on lodging. Hey, who knows? So anyways, just swing over there. If you got questions about that workshop, feel free to hit me up with those. And then Steve has a question. So can we join in even with other brands? Dude.
Of course. We want you to, man.
Come. We are system agnostic on this show. Henceforth. Although, let me put that one caveat in there. You will probably see a few sponsored shows. We kind of we're doing stuff behind the scenes with Olympus, so we're gonna have a few sponsored episodes and maybe like a really crazy episode that if that comes to fruition, that's gonna be super rad to even be able to do that. But
that's a secret teaser one.
That's a teaser for Adam. Was waiting forever to hear this news. So with that, we hit the 35-minute mark, and we are going to tell you guys goodbye until 2 weeks from now. Get out there and start shooting. And I've kind of been thinking, Mike, I know I'm dragging this out. I'm sorry. I've had a long day too. I've been thinking, what do you think, Mike? I'm just going to air this here right out in front of everybody. What do you think if we start asking people for images to share on the show?
I absolutely think we should, especially now. Especially now we're talking more about mirrorless, all systems. Mirrorless. Yeah. Yeah. Get us some images, but the best thing we want is just not the image. Give us the camera and the lens. Give us some EXIF information, right? Yes. So we can talk about it.
Yeah, we will.
Because we're not going to know exactly how you shot it. If you can tell us where it's processed, hey, that's cool too. But more of that EXIF information. Because we probably won't be able to glean it from how you submit it to us. Right. Messenger works good. I don't care. Share it any way you want to us. Get it to us. We do a show every other Wednesday, so
I will say if you send it to us as a print, I'm just going to be doing this, just holding it up in front of the screen. So
we could do that too.
Yeah. Anyways, so we'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. I don't know where Mike will be in 2 weeks. You're going to be home for the next show?
Home again. I know. My gosh. Craziness.
Crazy. All right. You guys take care, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for supporting us, you guys. We love you.